Hey English-speaking people, MrPink's here. Vampire Survivors is a game about maintaining social distance while you're being a celebrity. Hundreds of your fans walk towards you, trying to gently hug you to death with their brand new stamp of spooky Castlevania virus. It's a neat little game with tons of content and replayability. But you know what it lacks? The third axis. As you know, the 2D graphics are a relic of the past. So I decided to modernize the game a little bit by making a new game with a similar progression system but in 3D. And it's first person. And it has 360 degrees movement. And it has Neon Genesis Evangelion vibes. And it's called Mech. After spending the last few months working on a dog-walking RPG game and finding almost no fun in it, I had that impulse in my mind, an urge to quickly make something really fun. I was kinda on the edge about this because impulsive decisions rarely do any good to me. So before creating another empty Unity project, which is like the scariest thing for me nowadays, I shared some ideas with a few of my game dev buddies. I remembered that underwater prototype I made in the last year. Its pacing was too slow for me to come up with any fun gameplay, but I felt like there's a lot of untapped potential. And so the idea I settled on was to make the same thing again, but this time it should be actually fun. I started with the player's movement, as it's arguably the most important thing in a game like this. I wanted to be as simple as possible, so the movement script is actually the most default thing you can Google up. I just removed the clamping camera rotation on the X-axis so the player could fly around upside down. Then I added two cake guns to shoot cakes. I called it a 360 degrees cake shooting game and posted it on Twitter, but Twitter people didn't give a much shit about it, and so I learned that cake shooting isn't the most viral idea out there. Pathfighting in Unity is one of my oldest enemies, and pathfighting in 3 dimensions is like a boss of pathfighting. Luckily, I tackled it before and actually implemented the A-star based 3D pathfighting once, so I knew it's all doable, but I decided to steal other people's code anyway. I YouTubed up 3D pathfighting system by a bit of game dev. The system creates a 3D grid of cells and raycasts against obstacles to mark each cell either empty or blocked. A-star then runs through the grid and finds the best path between 2 points. Also, a bit of game dev added that cool looking path smoothing, which my system didn't have, so thank you dude. And so I implemented his solution, added some enemies, and sheesh! At the end of day 1 the game was already at least as fun as Golden Dollar. Rest in peace. January 2022, April 2022. I showed the game's footage to my other game dev buddy and he was like, remove 2/3 of all cubes, add Vampire Survivors progression and release it tomorrow. And I was like, okay. So one of the most things in Vampire Survivors is your XP bar. It's basically the main feedback on how you're progressing. So I added the XP bar. Enemies drop experience pickups and you choose one of few rewards when you level up. You can get a new weapon or upgrade an old one or get some passive stat boosts or perks. I also wanted to add some more elements of players' customization and, well, just let players stick guns to the mech on their own, where they want them to be. I'm certainly not good at placing weapons on screen. Golden Light was kinda a mess in this regard. So, in theory, if a player puts a gun in a bad position where he can't see anything behind the gun, he will blame himself instead of me. The idea sounds cool, but I wonder how the actual gameplay could change based on your weapon's positioning. There's something definitely there, but I'm not sure what exactly. Maybe weapons placed together should synergize somehow, or something good or bad to happen? At the very least, I can just restrict weapons placement a bit to bring it that Resident Evil inventory Tetris game vibes. Finally, I added some coins drops, which you can use to buy new stuff that you can get in the run. Later, I'll add some new levels to unlock and even some story beats. Overall, I'm very happy with MrPink right now. The music is a placeholder for now, but my buddy Josh Lim is making some original tracks for the game. He also made some cool music for Golden Light, so definitely go check him out. can grab the build for free on my itch.io. Now you have to do those YouTube like, bell and subscribe things and jump to our Discord server where me and some other devs share builds, feedback and suggestions. If you're a small game dev, you'll definitely find some folks to show your game to. Until the next time when I'll be adding waifus to the game, see ya.